What is up, team? Welcome back to the Huddle, the number one podcast in flooring. We're here every week to help you guys gain forward progress in your career. Simply put, we're here to help you win. Welcome to all the new viewers, and welcome everybody. And what's up, fellas? Welcome
What's
to
going
my
on?
my homies in Michigan.
What's going on, brother?
Welcome to your TED Talk.
Yeah, here's my TED Talk for the day. I don't know. This doesn't even qualify for a TED Talk. This is just going to be fun. Hopefully, we get some comments going, and because today's topic, everybody, is jobs we should have walked away from, and I know that everybody has a job that they wish they would have walked away from, at least one. And if you've been
At
doing it
least
for
one.
more than a couple of years, you probably have a few. Today's sponsors is Pro Installer Magazine. If you guys want to stay up to date about, installation techniques, just news that matters to the installer, Pro Installer Magazine is a great resource for you. Go check them out. Scan the QR code. Subscribe, have them send you, come to your inbox every day. It's nice and easy and simple. Good way just to kind of stay up to date and stay in, um, stay in the know about what's going on in the installer world. Um, the other sponsor for the day is Trade Tap, and the VTI. If you are an installer and you want to stand out from the crowd. You want to stand out from all the weekend warriors, so to speak, that are going to be coming into our business in droves soon. Um, you know, you're going to have a way to really separate yourself, and just being able to show your installer profile, verified by a third party, is a great way to add credibility and reputation to yourself when you're trying to sell your jobs and sell your service. So, want to thank everybody who is coming on board as ambassadors for TradeTap. I really appreciate everybody and the interest surrounding that. We'll be getting swag packs out and badges going for our ambassador group. So thank you so much. There's a few select of you that will also uh, be getting badges, but we're trying to test out if the badge is if you're going to use it, and if you are going to use it, we're going to get them for everybody. So welcome to TradeTap. Become a leader in the trades as the QR code there. Scan that. Go get your VTI started. All right. All that housekeeping out of the way. I could talk about TradeTap all day, but um, this podcast is blessings back to you, Robert. Revelation Flooring Group LLC just finished 75,000 square foot of VCT. Well, I love and do not
Don't
want to
love at the
do
same time.
75,000 feet of VCT anymore, but
How those
what
fingertips,
what
brother?
I hope it yeah, I was going to say the cherry fingertips will get you on the old slide and glide for the VCT. I'm assuming that's a Target. They're doing a lot of Targets right now, and or maybe a grocery store or something like that. Feel free to comment, Robert, if that
They've
is
been
the.
doing VCT in a lot of schools again.
We've seen some quartz, but not back to VCT. So a similar looking product, but obviously much more dense, uh, way higher PSI. I am seeing schools move away from LVT. They want something they can kind of wax and maintain. Low maintenance floors does not equal what they thought it said
It's
as
They,
low
they,
no
maintenance,
maintenance
no, not
floors.
no maintenance.
right. They want something that they don't have to reteach people how to take care of.
Oh, it was an elementary
It was
school.
an elementary.
All right, Montgomery County, Maryland, up in our boy Rollins neck of the woods up there in Maryland. Well, I hope the job went great for you. If you have a picture, you could share that in the chat as well. I think that would be awesome. All right. Well, I'm not going to presume here Robert, that that's one of the jobs you wish you would have walked away from. But today's topic is just that: jobs we wish or should have walked away from. I'm hoping for a lot of uh, participants in the comments because this is, I don't think any one of us want to mention a bunch of jobs. Um, I know there's some of our clients that watch this and can't say too many things, so I'll keep it somewhat brief or somewhat what do you say?
Ambiguous.
Incognito, ambiguous. Um, all right.
What about if there was you used to work for a company and every single job with one project manager was one of those jobs that you just
Well,
you wish you never stepped foot on?
we have one now that
Project
I've got to
manager
be
or
careful.
job?
Both. That we've got a client, and he's just one of those clients that, man, it's hard to. It's like everything's an emergency. Granted, we could have done a little better on our communication, but it is uh, it is tough to scramble in just a few days on an out of the blue punch list that kind of hits you, and then it's like we need this done within 7 days. And most commercial contracts do say 7 days, but that's
Mm-hmm.
usually in the course of the job, not after they've walked it, months after you're done, and you don't expect it. You don't expect it, and it just comes out of the blue. Hey, you got a punch list. Here it is. Go get this done. We need it done this week.
I
Like,
think that's
okay.
something that installers don't see either, right? Is that it's they're like, I finished this over a year ago, but for the person that has the contract, it's not until the completion of that project where that really
The
starts kicking
completion
in.
of that warranty.
Right.
Yeah, because a lot of the clients, at least ours, they do a 1 year walk, and then a year later you get a punch list.
Oh,
You know,
don't
they'll
tell
do a
anyone over here that.
they'll do a 1 year warranty walk and just make sure.
A lot of people
And
do that
some of
here
this
too.
stuff is chargeable things. They got scratches or whatever, and we're like, hey, it's not a punch list. That's a warranty item, and or not a warranty item or a punch list item. That is a repair, and we're happy to do the repair, but um, you know, let's call it what it is. You scratched the floor.
Yeah.
Nothing our installer nor the manufacturer could have done would keep that from happening.
There you go.
Oh, so I mean, they might have met already.
Well, it sounds like Roland said you should come by. All right.
What you
So,
got? What you got?
what you got? What you got?
You
What
know what? I'm
who
just gonna
who's
go
going to
ahead and
be the
start with.
brave one uh,
I'm
to get this party started?
well, without throwing any. Hold on. Let's backtrack. Now, are we gonna approach this like ones that we started? We approach like I have a feeling that we don't want to do this, but we're gonna take the project anyway because we're
I
low
think
on
it's
work
all
or
encompassing because there's
Yeah, it really is.
stuff
There's
on
plenty.
both on all sides, really.
okay. So let's. How about I just
Because
start
there's
with
plenty
one?
of them that I knew I shouldn't have took when I was going into it, or at least, but I thought somehow I would be okay. And then at the end of the day, it's like, ugh.
You
Where'd that
know,
profit go, right?
we did a
Mm-hmm.
project a very long time ago for a family member, for a family member's in-laws, and I went in pretty cheap. I had four guys coming in with me. We did it as like an emergency project, a living room, some commercial carpet in a residential setting, and I did not want to do it, but I was like, you know what? I want to help family out, make them look good. Did it upon completion, give them the invoice of a very, very, very cheap price, and they complained about it. They're like, "Whoa, that's expensive." I'm like, "Brother, just charged you $250 for a full day's worth of work for 4 people. What do you mean that's expensive? And I had to get mad, and I was just like, I will cut the center of this room out right now and take it with
He's
me.
like, I'll cut you.
And
There
I
was
will
a
take this.
there was just a post on Facebook about as someone was asking if anyone has ever repoed a job.
But I had
You
to
know
say that. I was
what?
like,
We had a job that I have to not mention the name of last week where uh, they're wanting to replace some flooring that we think because of I won't get into details, but the floor looks awesome, and they want to replace it for a layout thing that doesn't match the print exactly. And I'm like, well, you're kind of opening yourself up. I'm going to pull a tape measure out and measure every wall, every ceiling height, everything. If it's out, because this is out, like it's not off center or out of whack a half inch. It's just this random pattern doesn't match up the way they thought it should. And I'm like, it's a random pattern. Well, the picture shows XYZ. Anyway, long story short, they were like, well, they were telling one of our guys, well, we're not going to pay that August invoice until you get this replaced. And I was like, send our guys over and just pull all the materials off. Some of it's 12, 14 weeks lead time. Bring it back to the office and just tell them to sue us. Like, we'll file a mechanics lien for what we have and they can fight that. Anyway, that was not the way obviously it went, but it was just one of those gut reactions, like because you brought up repo. I was like, maybe we just go pull all the
man,
materials and
And
call it
then just
good.
leave it
No,
like that.
no, contractually in construction, you're not allowed to do that. So let me be clear. We didn't do it. It was just a guy talking locker room talk kind of stuff, but it doesn't mean you don't want to sometimes.
yeah, yeah. But long story short, after that cheap install to kind of help out, the family member said, "Hey, so do I get a finder's fee?"
I did a residential job once, and so I'll say you're a little off the first comment there, Jorge.
Let him win. Let him win.
Let him win. Let him take the W. But this almost is really the run me on the whole residential side of things. So we had way back in '02 a mobile showroom, long before it was a popular way of selling to the homeowner. We built out a 8-foot box truck with a full showroom in it. We could pull materials down. They could get on the lift. We can lift them up and they can look around. Anyway, I may have told this story before, but I had a customer. Well, it shows you how bad it damaged me. But her carpet didn't come in the day that she expected, and we hadn't yet scheduled. We had only told her the day, and so she assumed the next day we were going to get it done, and we didn't. We just was letting her know her carpet was coming in, and she took vacation and all this stuff
Oh
for the
man.
rest of the week, Wednesday on, and I was like, I do not have you scheduled, and I can't get to you till next Thursday, and it's only a 2-day job. Oh my God, she wanted me to pay for her lost vacation time. Like it was this whole deal um, that left me like, why in the world am I in even trying to do residential work, man? I can't connect with that side of the business well enough. It's like, because I'm like, we didn't tell you to do it, so we were just being communicative the way we have to be in commercial. Hey, your materials are in. In commercial construction, they know unless you have a
That means okay,
prearranged
let's
thing.
schedule.
Yeah, that means like, okay, the materials are in, let's get it scheduled. When can you get to it? That kind of thing. Not, oh, well, that means you're going to be here tomorrow to install it, right? And let me go ahead and go ahead and take my vacation time. And I mean, it was it. I didn't even, I was so caught off guard because it was like that morning, if I remember right. It was like, where are your guys? I'm like, well, they're not, I don't have your job scheduled yet. I was just letting you know the carpet's in. And it turned into this whole ordeal.
I think we need to apologize in advance because a lot of these are probably going to be residential projects. But I do want to point out something right here. Romero says that he wants to share that the CTI by CTEF test was a success. He's got 4 new CTIs with him. That makes 6 total for his team, and all 7 participants that were there passed.
Wow.
That's fantastic, bro.
That's probably unheard of, to be honest with you.
Well, I don't, yeah, that's not the, that's one of the, that would be maybe one of the highest I'd heard of talking to CTEF about like their passing rate of that test. So kudos to Romero. Dude is a stud. If you're down in, I think he's in Plano, Texas. If you need tile done down in Plano, that is your guy. I think his company is, I know it. Hold on, or I'll look it up because I want to give him a plug. Uh, but the dude is committed to making sure that they're, um, and he'll probably Star Tile Surfaces. I got it. Um, Making sure that the crews are actually trained, and he knows how important it is to have high quality people and to actually have trained installers on his projects. It makes his, I would imagine, it makes his life a lot easier,
Right.
and his sales should be, through the roof. Did I get that right? Is it Star Tile Surfaces? Is that right there, Romero out of Plano?
He says that he is out of Plano, and that most of his work is residential, and he's definitely has some headaches with clients. Because the kind of like the story that you were just saying reminded me of a guy of a person that he was just dealing with not too long ago, where he was like, she's like, okay, it's approved. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh,
Like we still have
dude,
to order material. Like
it was like it was horrible.
Do you usually do the residential side, Jose?
Yeah, Daniel doesn't have the patience to deal with people. I
when
mean, he
yes and
does,
no, right?
but he doesn't. It's just I have the tendency to attract people who need help being walked through a lot, but they know a lot. They just they need reassurance, and I can connect with them pretty quick and easily. I find their language, and I'm able to meet them on their plane, so that way they understand.
Hmm. Well, I've always thought you and I thought alike, but not in that case. I mean, like your brother. Jeez, I have a hard time, and I want to
I
be good at it. So I'm not
I
like
know, and it's just a
dogging on it. I
mindset thing
want to be
because
good at it, but I
we're
get
commercial.
frustrated.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
commercial, right? So I tell people, I say like Jose has the patience to lead them in a direction. With me, I'm in that commercial mindset. It's like, hey, I already sent you this quote, like yes or no, instead of like, hey, what else can we do for you? And the crazy thing is that sometimes on the commercial side, I still have to do that, but it's I don't know. I just find it easier.
Well, it just kind of, it's more structured. There's no doubt. And that's the thing. It's like more structured feeling when it's in the commercial world. Like you kind of know there's still obviously jobs that are not um, there are still jobs that don't run the way that you most
yeah.
commercial jobs, but in general, you're gonna, bid a project. You're gonna get, if you get the project, you're gonna start submittals. You're gonna get return submittals. You're gonna make any adjustments, send any change orders or RFIs based off those, and then like it's kind of a systematic approach. But when you sell to a homeowner, and kudos to all you who are greatly successful at that. I know a lot of our audience is, and I mean, you got a great skill set to be able to do that. But um, the there's no structure around it. It's like you're selling it, even like selling a car is got structure around it, but selling flooring in someone's house, you got to have Jose's mind, I guess.
Dude,
Like this,
look.
like I'll work
It,
through this, I'll make you happy by doing
here's
this,
what.
that, and the other, or whatever.
Here's the easy thing. I just do this. Commercial, it's like I sent you everything you need. Do you understand it, or do you need clarification? Right? Residential's like, hey, I sent you all the information pertaining to your material. I just want to make sure that you understand everything. But if you need any clarification or have any questions, please feel free to reach out. That's the only difference. It's just robotic, monotone to I care. Let me know what I can do.
We care. We just don't have to like show it as much.
Right.
I
No,
mean,
no,
I
I know. I know.
care, but
Emails
yeah,
and conversations for residential versus commercial are, you're right, they
completely
are
different,
different.
aren't
They
they?
are
Yeah.
different.
Robert says he likes our Prony Treadman video. He just got one. You're gonna love it, man.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
you are.
60 treads to do at a naval base in King George, Virginia, on September 11th.
Oh,
Nice.
never forget.
It's my voice, though,
Denise,
you guys.
how
It
you
is my
doing today?
voice for the residential, right?
Okay,
People
that
have
being said, I mean, surely still there's the ones that you're like, I'll go. I'll tell you one that I did, and it's more of a customer. Um, I found a lot of the jobs that I would apply to this topic saying, um, that I wish I would have not gotten essentially or not done, have the common denominator is the customer's expectations. And that being either mismanaged by our team or being mismanaged by the general contractor or something in that arena. But, you know, we've had a few projects, but I did one at Whiteman Air Force Base several years ago. And you want to talk about it was one of the hardest jobs that we ever did. It was a bunch of mosaic bathrooms that was had some pattern mosaic, hexagon mosaic tile, floor and wainscot, and everything was, and it was a remodel at that. So hexagon mosaic on a remodel. Every floor should have been leveled, uh, ground and leveled, and I think I've gotten past this with most general contractors that like demo the easy part and leave the thin set, or they leave the glue when they demo carpet or vinyl, and they're like, well, that's just floor prep. No, that is part of the tile system, or that's part of the flooring system. That you don't get to just
Mm-hmm.
demo the easiest part and then give me the crappy part and tell me that's floor prep. But that's how that was dealt with, and this was probably 20-ish years ago. Um, and it was every bathroom took twice as long as we thought it would on our
Ooh.
initial kind of ideas from the schedule. And this wasn't. I'll give the contractor some kudos. Uh, they didn't dictate the schedule to us. We had a meeting and talked about it, and I was doing some averaging and stuff. And at the end of the day, man, we got roasted on that job. But it wasn't just that you, the worst jobs to me that I wish I wouldn't have took are not just jobs you don't make money or the amount of profit that you feel like you should have for the project, but that along with, on top of that, it was just constant pressure, constant. where are your guys? You only have 6 guys here. I mean, you had 10 yesterday and you got 6 today. Like just every day it was constant pressure on schedule and getting done and more guys, more guys, more guys, more guys. And I'm like, I can't send you just anybody on this install. I
Dude,
just can't.
you just
And
reminded me about
I
one.
I can't just send you any tile guy that's done 12 by 12 tile in his life. This is a hexagon mosaic with a pattern, and they want the pattern to match because it was just basically 2 walls and a door wall,
So it had to match
and
all the way.
and so it had to match this whole way and this way, the pattern in the mosaic. It was a tough. Hey, Jose would have probably or
Romero.
Romero probably would have hated that job. Jose Romero, he would have probably
So
hated it too.
Rollins says that he learned early on working with, I think
GM or
maybe he
home.
means GCs or homeowners, that he needs to carry a very big toothbrush from kissing behinds. Trent over here on LinkedIn says he had a homeowner question the grout depth on chiseled edge porcelain one time. They wanted a full redo. GC wouldn't stand behind him, so he had the NTCA write a letter for him that got everything dropped. He got paid, and he says that, short version, if nothing is specified, industry standard is installer's choice. So there has
I'm
been
glad.
a
I'm
time or
glad
two where
John.
we've had that too, right? Where it's like
Oh my goodness.
they walk through and they're like, "Why'd you do it like this?" And it's like, "Well, this is how we always do it." Well, I wanted it like this. Where was that in the paperwork?
I had that just brought up one, and this is a more recent job. It was a restaurant. You guys probably know, so don't say too much. But they freaking had quarry tile, and the it was quarry, so like quarry textures or quarry natural. So it was the stamped rough quarry tile, like the low grade quarry tile. Uh, 3/8 grout joints with epoxy IG.
Oh,
So yeah, epoxy grout, and then expected it to be level with the surface. When the edges of the quarry tile it's eased edge. It's not like your square 6 by 6. Your good quarry tile. I say good quarry tile. I don't know if there's such thing, but at least it's more square when it's the regular quarry tile and it's cut and it's a square edge
wow,
as
brother.
opposed to like the stamped quarry tile where you can still see where the machine stamped it, you know, and then it gets baked and then it comes out the other end and they put it in a box. There's like no cutting of it or anything. And they, I begged them to move to 3/16 or smaller even, but 3/16 and 3/8 was on the drawings and that's what it was. And then the um, operator of the restaurant was like, "We can't squeegee this," and it was a long ordeal. I was like, "Dude, I can't
Get a
help
softer
you.
squeegee.
Like, how do you get? Yeah, use them up." I don't know what to say. 3/8 grout joints was what we were forced to use on epoxy, care
Right?
epoxy.
We tried talking him out of it.
I did too. Heavy duty tried. We could have got them fuller with 3/16, but it is hard as hell if you work with
Y-
epoxy. It's
Dude,
hard as
it's
hell
hard
to get
anyway. Yeah.
epoxy to stay full in the joint when you're cleaning as well. Especially IEG, which is like the kitchen version of grout, of epoxy. Uh, it was incredibly difficult to get it to the level that we did, and we got it right to the bottom of the curve of the eased edge. I mean, that's the best we could get it. And then if you
Perfect.
try to go in and fill them fuller, you're just opening up a problem. Like you'd have to, and it was hard as hell because of the size. So anyway,
Yeah.
that one I probably could have skipped as well.
Robert said he did 65,000 yards of carpet tile at NASA headquarters, all modular lift, and it only paid $12 a yard.
You said that's so sad.
Is it Well, if that doesn't include demo, that's not bad for our area. I'm not sure that it would
I think
cover
that's up and
working at
down.
NASA.
Right.
Yeah.
The all the parameters around that, like working on the Air Force bases.
Romero says he invested in big grinders with HEPA and build the customer.
Oh, that's
There you
for
go.
remote. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I agree. There's ways to get the. Of course, this is 20, maybe 20 years ago, 18, 20 years ago. If you're referring to the my Whiteman Air Force Base project, but you know, even it was like our one of our first really big jobs, and especially tile jobs, and it should have been handled better on our side. Like we should have like been a little more forceful and not just taken the beating from the GC that um, that it was our job to deal with the old thin set that was left.
I think that's what one thing I always talk about on the project walks, the job walks is who is doing the adhesive removal, who is doing the thin set removal, because that needs to be talked about now so you're not surprised later.
Yep. Or even on Flash Cove projects, who's doing the drywall? These are the
Yeah,
expectations.
making sure it's good all the way down.
Yep. Who's putting up the wall protection or FRP or wainscot? Like who's doing all that? These are things that you need to know as well, especially if it's going to be over the width of the panel. You know, if it's going to be a 4'6" height, what are they spacing the bottom with? Make sure you have material for that. It, things like that. So let me add to the topic, right? And Daniel said something beginning where it's more people than it is projects, because I'm thinking about all the projects that I did not want to be on anymore and we didn't want to do and walk away from. But those are the ones that were learning moments and made us add more literature or learn to say we're not interested when the question came up. And some of them were labor only. The majority of the bad ones that we had was labor only early on in our careers. And I tell you what, that's where we learned how to read or look at the fine print and make sure that we understood the schedule that they're trying to lay out for us and voice our concerns right away. Like, I'm sorry, but that schedule that you have is ridiculous. Like, I don't think you understand how many moving parts are involved in that, but that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, and if you do commercial work, I mean, you do one thing we're just like that we're cognizant of is voice your opinion about like the schedule. Don't let it just get kind of shoved down your throat. There's plenty of times where that has saved us, where we're like, no, that what you're asking for is impossible. That cannot be done. We cannot do it that way. Uh, and these are the reasons. And then, of course, all hell breaks loose later on the project, and you're glad that you put your 2 cents in on the schedule, even if they didn't
Yeah.
actually change the schedule, which a lot of times a good thing is that they will change the schedule, but sometimes they don't. And they just are like, well, you got to figure it out. That's all the time I have allotted. And for your contract, we run the schedule and you have to make it work. And I'm like, okay, well, that's just fine, but you still can't put 30 gallons of gas in a 20-gallon tank. I don't know what to say. You know?
There was a project that let me not say it like that. We've assisted on some projects, some more recently than others, where an expectation was set or a deadline was set, and due to unforeseen circumstances, nothing has been getting done for a little bit. So upon the initial walkthrough, I was asked, well, what if you throw more people on this project and work over the weekend? Can we have this area? And I flat out said, first off, we're not going to work over the weekend. Right? Like, I'm not going to lay that on my guys last minute. It's not going to happen. Nothing against you. It's just I'm not going to do that. It's going to mess with team morale. the next thing is you say more guys. I said more guys does not help get the technical work done. And if that's your level of expectation and that's what you're telling me needs to be done, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, then we're not the people for it, because I know that that can't be done in that amount of time. There's cure times involved, there's layout, there's fixing, and we're picking up the pieces right now. And if you're not willing to help out and adjust your schedule, because we're here to help, we're not here to assume responsibility of someone else's scheduling. We're here to help you get your floors done. If you understand that, then we can work together. If not, then I appreciate your time, and I'm just going to be on my way. And they just look at me like, what just happened?
And can you do that on residential too?
Yes, I do.
We can work double time.
Problem is, you only have so many miles on your knees, on your body. You only have so many hours a week in you.
You need some time off, man. Like,
And it's just, I get it. Everybody's project is super important, but if a client, residential or commercial, is more than willing to put you, your crew, or your body in harm's way to meet a deadline that is unrealistic, I love a challenge, but I farewell. I will see you on the next one if we're given another opportunity.
so
And I've
Robert
done that
does say something
many
here. I'm
times,
not
and
gonna
not.
pop it up though because I don't want to put companies out there. But he said that that company that he did that lift job for was tried talking him down on price twice in a week.
Yeah, there's another part where he's talking about the wage scale. I have a job that we did up out of our Kansas City office that was on a university, and it was Davis Bacon wages, and we figured we thought we figured right, and we did for the mechanic, like the lead guy. What we didn't account for was, I think it was 5680 or something like that. It was in the mid to high 50s per hour for the lead guy. The helper got paid only like $1.50 less.
Oh yeah, dude.
And I was like,
Sometimes they make more.
why,
Yep.
how is that possible? That So they had a tile setter, and a tile finisher. The tile finisher, the helper, is how they categorize it. $2 less. So my crew didn't want to take any helpers. They're like, they can't produce that kind of. And I was like, he goes, I'm only bringing them in on grouting days. And so it was nothing but, um, and I guess we just must have missed that. But word to the wise, if you're bidding any jobs on Davis Bacon or on Air Force bases or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that, or universities sometimes have them. If it's a certified payroll Davis Bacon kind of project, look for both, because
Yeah, you got to
it
look at
looks like our.
everything, and then not only that is if you didn't go through a like approved apprenticeship program, you have to pay the higher amount regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I was saying it because we were working on projects where it was like that before, right? And it was I think my checks were more than his, and he was like, "What's going on?" And they were like, "Oh, it's fringe benefits, so we get to subtract that from your pay." So since he was the one that was driving the vehicle, and he was the one that had a company phone, they were able to subtract that out of his pay as a fringe benefit.
I don't think so. But maybe, I don't know.
They have all
The way
these.
that those forms
Yeah.
work.
So John says here he just took off, but he did say that learning to manage expectations help prevent taking too many of these types of bad jobs, and I think that's somewhat manageable. But as an installer, sometimes you get these bad jobs. Like I was saying earlier, it's just the luck of the draw with some of these project managers, and it just
Yeah, it's hard to tell
happens that way.
sometimes. It's hard to tell sometimes. And I tell you
Shake and
another
bake.
deal, the what he pointing to what he said is sometimes managing expectations can turn a what would be considered a bad job into a good job. I think that's
That's
the
true.
number one thing that you got to start out with, even if it's homeowners. So like that's why um, you know, if I was to do residential more, I would like lay it out. Like we'll order materials, and then when we get materials in our warehouse, then we'll call you to schedule, and it would have prevented my scenario, um, which was one of the last. We still do residential. It's just you know, by appointment or through a designer or something like that. It's never like a. This was retail residential replacement stuff, which I we very very rarely do any residential replacement, and that was certainly one of our last jobs before we shut the old mobile showroom down.
So Denise does say this, right? Lack of planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. If only that was true sometimes.
Well,
Yeah.
if only you could get that statement to fit into a contract. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because we're often just um, bound by a contract that
Right.
says certain things, and it doesn't. The contract doesn't uh, account for the procrastination or whatever on the project manager or
Yeah.
the GC firm or whatever's part.
Romero says that he turned out a job today where the prep was done by another installer. It was done correctly, but I just think it wasn't enough for that product, right? And the client did not want to pay to fix the prep. And I think we've, as an installer, when they say that, that's one of those things, right? Where, especially on commercial, where it's like, we're just turning this thing. We'll have someone come through before you, just come in and install it. And there was a time where we were like, no, like if someone else is touching that prep work, I'm not touching it.
Yep.
Hmm. We've had a few. Sometimes that happens. Every once in a while, we'll have guys, and we'll have like we had our hourly crew do some prep work just because it was like one of them 2 days. You know, their job canceled or whatever, and there were two open days, and that was the easiest place to place them or something. And nobody wanted to go do the job after the prep was done, and we were like, well, if you see any additional prep, we'll still pay you for it. And they were like, well, what if it fails? And I'm like, I just don't. We need to not do that, just because there's too many unknowns, you know.
Right. So Robert says that, also be mindful of, having to have your OSHA certs for some of these projects as well. And then he just bought the new digital, he says Sinclair, but it's Leicester heat weld gun. Are you talking about the Jet A, the smaller one? He can't find a stand that fits around it because it's square. So Turbo Tools
Mm.
doesn't sell one, but Leicester sells one of their own. I
Their
don't
own
want to call
stand.
Mm.
it a stand, but it's the guide wheel.
Oh,
Kevin says prep work. What prep work?
what prep work?
And Denise says make sure your contract stipulates any concerns. And sometimes on these big old commercial projects, you don't. You can fight a little bit, but it's basically their cookie cutter type of stuff.
Well, and you get to, it's like inclusions, exclusions. And so there's still room for stuff to get lost in between
Right.
those. Here's what your scope of work is. Here's what we're excluding. And a lot of times we can get our exclusions put in there, but then there's some scenario that comes up that it falls in the gap of those two.
Falls in the gap of under the master
Well, it's
contract.
just like the deal I was telling you about with the punch list. I mean, months and months after we're done and off the job, but our contract does say that any punch list items we have to take care of within 7 days. So scrambling to get that done is a tough thing, you know?
Yep. We do our best to do that to remedy any issues, and some of the, let's call it punch list items that are popping up that are should be classified as repairs. We've kind of taken on a different approach. Let's try to keep the client happy, do what we can out of our own pocket without, charging them for it, unless it's ridiculous, right? But it's
Well, yeah, you try your best to be a good
right,
partner in the job, but man, it cannot be at the complete expense of your finances.
right, correct. And one of the clients actually just popped back up to go do some more repairs on their home, which is something we didn't do, right? Somebody else did the initial install, but I will say that my sister probably wants to walk away from more projects that we put her on than us doing, or our guys. And she did such a bang up job on the last retrofit repair that we did. It was 100% custom because they don't make the tile anymore. It's like 100-year-old floor, and he was just like, "You guys are my people now. Can you guys repair this shower?" And we're like, "I'm sorry it's taking so long to give you a number, but I'm just trying to find out if we can comfortably do it." And he's like, "How about we just band-aid it, repair it for right now? If everything happens again in a few years, then we'll just replace it. And you guys are my peeps, and you take care of me, and I'll make sure that I reciprocate." And I was just like, "All right, let's go." Like within 20 minutes of sending over, which is not a very high number, but for the amount of hours I think it's going to take, he was just like, "Approved. Yeah, just come and do it." And I'm like, "All right."
See, because that's the opposite side of the coin, where you have the clients where it's all the questions and then beating you up on price and all that, and then you have the opposite side where it's like, just I trust you, just come and take care of me.
We had to
Yeah,
earn it though.
those clients are golden, you know. They're the ones that are tough, I think, from a client standpoint, at least in commercial, are the ones who it's hard bid job, you're bidding the work. Uh, if 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 well, and let me be clear, they don't they're they don't tell you there's two scenarios. Either they don't tell you that you're the only one bidding it because they don't want you to know that, or they just straight up tell you it's a bid job. And then the discrepancies in the drawings are like, well, why didn't you bring this up? Why didn't you bring that up? I'm like, it's not my job to design it. If I'm doing the legwork on all of that, then this needs to be a negotiated. Then I can guide you. But when you're talking about just putting out numbers,
It's
uh,
bid what's on that paper.
I have to bid what's on the paper and in the construction document.
Right.
I feel like we're leaving out our residential guys. All we've done is poop on
Bash.
residential and talk about commercial. So what's our residential? Jorge says he's always the guy left on the job to do the punch list. Well, that's because they probably think you're the best.
The attention to, or they know
And
you know how to fix everything.
that's the thing. They don't. I know that is a huge thing with installers. It was with me when I was putting in floors on the daily, was being the guy that had to go back and fix people's stuff, but they wouldn't hire me in the first place to go do the job. Oh, that would irk me. And
Brother,
we
that
all
has
got to go
happened.
fix some stuff and things like that. But when you lose a job and then they want to have you come and fix it. And it's even worse when they want to beat you down on price and you're like, well, I can come out, but it's going to cost you, $300 minimum or something. And they're like, oh no, I mean, can't you do it for $50 or something?
Right.
No, I can't. I can't even start my van for $50.
And
It'll
you know
take
what?
$50 in gas to get to your job.
Yeah.
That is so. What Daniel had talked about earlier, the project that we walked away from, it, and even another recent one too, is like, well, why is it so much money? Well, I have a minimum amount that I have to hit if I'm giving you one or two people, right? Like I still got to pay my guys, and I still have to run a business to be profitable. And they just don't understand that. They're like, well, I could do it myself for this much money. Well, feel free to do it. Like I can already tell that this is where we should part ways. If
Yeah,
you're
the
trying
moment
to,
somebody says, "Well, I've done a few of these type deals," we run into it more like owners reps. They'll come through and look at. We
yeah,
did a job in a. It was the city hall, and the owner's rep was a tile installer. He said, I installed tile. And then you ask him, it's like a backsplash and a tub surround once or whatever. And Jorge,
we have a visitor here,
let's
brother.
add Jorge to
Oh,
the
what's up,
stream. What's up,
Georgie?
brother?
What's going on? Spanish News is here.
Breaking news from Jorge.
How's it going, everyone?
What's up, brother? You got
Nothing
a
much.
cold one
Just
in your hand? You look like you're
already
nice.
finished up. Finished up for the day. Got this staircase runners done, and I'm back in action, man.
There you go.
Well, I thought you might be having a cold one. It just seems like the right surround, right?
Well, it's too hot here. It's
Cool.
about
That is a
104
cool mug.
degrees.
No, that's it.
Oh yeah.
Only
There's
for
the
the
life,
bestest.
guys. You do enough other people's punch list, you get to
You get to have a cold brew.
you get to
You
go have
have
a
to have
cold
one.
brew.
You have to have one, right? It's like you got to deal with everybody's
Yeah,
problems.
yeah. So I'm glad all my buddies are out here. Jose, Romero. I'm surprised the other Jose and Jesus aren't on here. I think they're not
I
available
think
today, but
he's on vacation, bro. He like works a week and then takes a week of vacation. Like he goes back and forth like that.
that must be nice. I
I
need to be one.
respect it.
I need to be one of those installers.
You know, if you travel, I used to travel to do, well, VCT was big back then, so we did these Krogers all over. Sometimes you get stuck in a place where you don't want to be, but sometimes it's kind of cool to travel, to Florida. Well, this was a Cessna job, but traveled to Florida to Hollywood Beach and did freaking a bunch of work there for a couple of weeks. And you're in Florida, you treat it like a little vacation while you're there, but you got to travel to do that kind of thing or
Well,
make
once
enough
trade tab
money to
hits
do.
off, man. Once
Yeah,
trade tab
baby,
gets, then we can be
you can just
cruising
find the
around the
work.
USA.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Why
baby.
not?
We were
that's what I'm talking about.
we talked about like one day taking a group of installers and just going from one spot to the other and doing work
We talked about that
and
too.
videoing. Remember that?
Yep.
Videoing the whole process.
Just
It's
to show
Do our
people
own
that what you
little
can do.
self-promoted TV, self-produced TV show.
Yeah, I think that it'll still work, brother. I really do.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
go to the local area, find the trade tap installers in the area, and you're like, yeah, let's team up and do this work. And then you do a job and you go to the next city and the next city and the next city.
Yes, sir.
Hey Bang, I'm
Eventually.
always drinking Bang on your deal. You should sponsor us. This is free promo every episode.
Bangerang.
And I'm always drinking those Celsius that somebody introduced me to. Jeez, man, I wish I never got introduced to that.
And I'm always drinking those cervezas.
That's the way to be, right? we're drinking energy drinks at 4 o'clock, and
Man,
Jorge's drinking cervezas.
they're probably like, man, that Jorge is an alcoholic. But I'm actually not. They're light beers. They're like super light. So they're like
They don't even.
3.8 or something.
They don't even
And then this
count.
one's like,
It's
nah,
okay,
it doesn't
bro. It's
count as like
diet.
drinking
These are
water.
diet.
He's like,
They're, yeah.
he's
Some
like,
duels.
I drink for the taste.
Yeah.
I drink to socialize and network, in which most of the people that come out here and they're members, we network, we talk about business. There's people in the insurance field, there's people in other fields, and we kind of just gather here and talk most of the times, which they're waiting for me out there. They're like, hey, you're always working, but we're networking when we're here.
Yeah, 100. You network everywhere you go. I don't think
Kevin
there's a place
says
that I
that we
don't
we
go.
have to have a negative score with after what he had to deal with today. Sounds like he must have had to go look at a project from somebody that he feels should be minus below rookie.
Kevin, I gave your
we
information
call
out
them
to
handyman.
people last week.
No offense to the good handyman out there, but
That was dude. We gotta do one like that. I seen a handyman posting on there, on some, I forget what it was, social media. It was probably Facebook. I'm a handyman. I can do your sheet vinyl. I can do this.
Can
Bro.
do anything.
local. So we're there's this local like Facebook group. I forget the name of it, but it's for like work. So someone says, I got 600 feet of LVP I need installed. Who can do it?
I'll
And
do it for $1.
it's just,
I'll do it for 75 cents.
it's like a list of people are like, and it's like roofing, siding, decks,
Construction,
flooring, like
pools.
yeah, it's just all this stuff on each one. And I'm like, man,
Catering.
cater on the side.
There was a project. I went and
Subscribe
We
to
did
my
a
OnlyFans.
project.
You'll get a discount on your construction site.
we did a project for the county over here, right? And I showed up to the job walk because you have to be there, and you're like, it's one of those mandatory, right? If you're not there at this time, you don't get to come in, you don't get to bid. So we all got in there, and I look at the list, and that's how it was for this one. It was painting, construction, the list goes on, like handyman, right? And I was the only one where it was like flooring, and I was like, dang, that means I'm gonna be high bid already.
You know,
But
you gotta walk away.
I didn't. I
No.
still bid it, and they went with us. I talked to the guy, and he was like, we kind of had to go with you because you're the only flooring company. I don't know if I can trust anyone else.
This other dude does fences.
Dude, we were awarded a project because of that. Like, it
Well,
was a referral.
expertise does matter to people if they know you're an expert. I mean, that
Well,
does matter to people.
She flat out
It's
said
just the
today on the
fact that
phone.
when you if it's this tough thing of somebody saying, yes, I'm a flooring dude, or I'm this or that or the other, and not really having anything to back that up at all, then you should be a little skeptical. I don't care if you don't hire a non-licensed plumber or an unlicensed electrician, like that's the kind of their barrier of entry. But it also, just because they're licensed doesn't mean they're the best
Right.
plumber or best electrician. So yeah, that's why the VTI and TradeTap's scoring system is there. Thank you, Denise. We know there's more out there, more people out there that have those jobs that there was red flags that made you think about walking away. And kudos to Daniel for not walking away, because he just let his expertise do the talking on that deal. But that's one red flag, I gotta say. If you are surrounded by like generalized construction people or generalized repairman or whatever, or handyman, that's a tough gig to beat. That's a tough one to beat. You gotta
Yeah.
go. You gotta lean void of proof. Price is gonna win, and so you gotta have some proof, whether it's reputation or whatever,
Yeah.
or a scoring system. Either one, you gotta have some way to set yourself apart and prove your value.
And sometimes that is calling manufacturers to the job site. Kevin says he had the opportunity to see a job before it failed and couldn't talk the installer into doing it right. Read him manufacturing instructions as well as industry standards and was told he knew better. He lost a little faith in the industry today. Can't help stupid and stubborn.
You can charge for it.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's really
That's
tough when
you gotta have the GC there too or something.
it's tough in those scenarios that he just pointed out, because there Ben at TradeTap always says that we kind of had two generations of installers lost that didn't really have the standardized training. I think that's pretty accurate. And you get these guys that just I don't know where their confidence comes from. We run across it here. I don't know where it comes from because mine comes from the certifications and the training and the my industry partnerships and my dealings with other installers. That's where my confidence comes from. These guys have confidence, like they legit. This guy, like Kevin just described, he knew better. Knew
I
better.
think our confidence is that we know we don't know everything.
Yeah, 100.
That's a
percent
that's a great comment. That should be
Yes.
put on a sign somewhere. That's the way to be, like being teachable
Yeah.
and
We're
knowing not.
open to taking critique, and we're open to
Yeah.
having somebody tell us, hey, you're doing it wrong. No problem. But there's some
Just
people who are
having this
like, well,
conversation.
I know you. I know better than
Yeah,
everyone
I
else in the
mean,
world.
and knowing that we got people out there that we can call for anything, right? Like, I got a call a few weeks ago, and they're like, "Hey, how much would you charge for for this?" And I'd be like, "This is where I'd be," and they're like, "Man," they usually do residential. They're like, "Man, I'm about to lose this bid," and I was like, "At least you're not gonna get it," and then be like, "We're talking about now." It's been one of those jobs where you're like, "Man, I should not have did this."
Well, but the audacity of Kevin's situation is he is one of those guys we talk about when you're talking about having access to somebody who's a real
Yeah, dude.
expert, right? And this dude, whoever he was,
He had access to the
he
expert, and
had him right
still
there, and he still just was like, "Nah, I know better than that."
Kevin went there and was
That'd
like,
be
"Hey
like
man, you
having
should be spreading the glue like this." Nah, I'm good. I'm still gonna be using it this way. I'm gonna flat trowel it.
Yeah, I don't believe you, brother. You have tattoos.
it's like having Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple, talking to you about how to use your iPhone. You're like, "Nah, no, I'm good. I know better." You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Humility,
Yes.
humility, I think, is where it comes in, and that's where that trait of humility is what I think the really good installers have, and they learn. They have egos still, but humility to learn, because I know the good ones learned from someone else. I know Kevin would list guys that he learned from. Jorge can list guys he learned from. I can tell you guys I learned from that were really, really good. Not just said they were good, they were certified guys, or they were really, or that the guy that taught me how to lay broadloom carpet. Oh, well, once I started listening, um, full disclosure, I didn't listen real well when I was 19 or 20, but he was a union trained guy from way back in the day, and his dad owned a flooring company forever, so he'd done it forever. And you know, we know those things. What I'm getting at is that guys who just learn from someone else, but where does the confidence that it's the right way? That's what I don't get.
Man.
Yeah, for me, I feel that most of those guys that taught me, it opened up even more later on for me to just self learn just by looking up information on stuff. And at some points, I might even know more than some of the guys that taught me and some of the machines or things that, because I learned how to do something a little bit different than they did, and I adapted myself uh, to be a little bit better, to make the work a little bit better. And sometimes I'll tell these guys, like, I did this, and this, I changed over this, and they're like, what? How did you do that? How'd you even know? I'm like, I'm glad Chad is able to help me, and I ask it questions, and it tells me what parts are similar that I can use, and then I adapted that into this, and now I have this product, and they're like, damn.
Yeah,
But
I
What?
you're not gonna know unless somebody brings it out of you. They plant that little seed, and you start to grow, right?
Yeah, I remember sitting through just a demonstration that Robert had done on, and just that I was like, oh my goodness, man, I had such an epiphany about a couple of jobs I had done that I was like,
yeah
whoa,
Are you talking about the Varden?
yeah
The
yeah,
Varden?
Yeah.
Robert Varden,
Yeah, dude,
the
yeah,
Varden.
he's awesome, man. Like, he was my instructor, him and Jonathan. But those guys they're awesome. They're great instructors, especially Mr. Varden. He's Robert. He's really good.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and
before
there's a
we,
ton of guys out there that are that way, but you got to listen to them. The whole point of
yeah,
that is like you get Kevin, who to me is one of the best in the business,
Brother,
sitting there
yes, for
telling you
sure.
how to do something and you don't listen. That's crazy to me.
that's crazy. But I
It,
do want to, before we
oh, dude, it's
end
already
this
5 minutes.
episode, I do want to shout out the Ties installers that won this regional competition that they had.
Oh yeah.
So we have for LVP Jackson Aho, and for carpet Hugo Gutierrez, and he's the one that won. I think the wood last time, right? LVP.
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
he won the regional,
Oh,
but he didn't win the. I don't think he
the
won
co-
the national.
Oh,
He's the
well,
union guy, right?
yeah. There,
IUCAT.
it's two union guys, so that's kind of what I was gonna get at, because you were like, you learn from a union guy, and it's I think the union is kind of creeping in here and kind of showing us that, hey,
Well,
we talk crap about the union, but they do have some really really good opportunities with training, and we kind of
they
need
are
to look at that and mimic it.
they are
they are
really
so
good at
structured,
training.
dude.
It's one of the things that they've always been really good at. And so
Hugo
shout
is a
out to all
boss.
that.
Yeah, and
It's a
Hugo's
requirement.
really good. Last year, I mean, they were all pretty close, man. Or the year that he competed, I was like, man, they're all right there. They're just little things that we can't see that the judges see. But
And that's
Hugo,
what you
like
need,
he
though.
said, Hugo's a boss. Jim
You
Freeman
need
said Hugo's a
these. Yeah,
boss.
Jim Freeman said Hugo's a boss, and that's what you need, is you need these competitions to be like that. And if you think that you're like the guy where Kevin went and visited his job and you already know everything, I invite you to go to these
Just
regional
go to a regional.
competitions. Just like, if you think you're that good, just go to a regional competition and see if you can prove it.
Most of the guys don't even want to. I can tell you, like with dealing with thousands of installers at TradeTap, there's a pretty good majority, guys. I'll just tell you straight up, they don't want to do it because they don't want to know where they land.
They don't want someone to tell them that they're not good,
Yeah,
right?
they've got it so stuck in their head. It's the guy that it would be whoever Kevin was talking about. It's that kind of person that's
Yeah.
like, no, I already know everything.
But as far as Kevin, I mean, I'll kick his ass in stitches on carpet. That's right,
Dang,
Kevin.
shots fired. Shots fired.
Dang, we're gonna see maybe in what is that, November? We'll see. I mean, y'all saw
Well,
my stitches last year, so
mentioning Tice, that's right around the corner, really. I mean, it ain't going to be
Yeah.
long before we're all in Vegas. And also
for the
coming up is
convention
the
though.
Synergy convention with CFI and FCICA. That is in November. What date is that there, Jorge?
Uh,
Do you remember the actual
I think
date?
it's the week of the
10th.
10th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
10th.
I
Yeah,
think this one
so
will take you to the training page, but then you can still get around and look for the event. So
yeah, it's called the Synergy Conference. So Google that and you'll find it. And so that's right around the corner. And if you want to, there's some talk about, there was a couple manufacturers, I believe, that were considering
doing some tours.
doing, well, no, doing some, uh-oh, here we go. Yeah,
He
boy.
didn't. He didn't tag you in
Um,
it, so it's not official.
but there's, they were talking about maybe scholarship and some people.
Oh,
So
that would be
I don't
That's
know
awesome.
fantastic.
if that's going to come through or what. I don't have any, you know, there's nothing on the deck that I know of. I just
I mean, we got
have
Roberts
heard that
on
that
here
could
right
happen.
now.
So we'll
Thank you
see.
so much, dude.
I'm sure it'll get out there if some of the manufacturers decide to. But irregardless, I cannot understate how cool it is to go to convention and meet some of the people that jump on here every week and comment, as well as some of the people that just watch the show that I meet at every convention. And the camaraderie and the friendships you'll build and the resources you'll have at your fingertips, just a few, you know, a phone call away to help you
Hmm.
through a tough situation or whatever. That's invaluable to installation. I mean, if you don't, if you can take a moment, Kevin's friend, I'll call him, to humble yourself enough to call someone else for some advice. This is where you'll meet a lot of those people. So
Unless someone called him for you and then you were just all butthurt about it. Romero does say that thanks for the episode and he needs to see some tile competitions. He's been telling every other people about this, and they did have tile in there
they used to.
before.
It's been years ago, hadn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think 2020
Three,
was the last time.
was it?
Well, even
I
at
would.
coverings, they have stuff like that. Like they have the people who make the dog
They're doing a
houses and
test.
stuff like that. Well, the testing, but still, like they have little things here and there. But I mean, I don't
It's
know. I
just
think
not
tell's
the
kind of
same.
complicated.
It's not the same. It is, and there's a little bit of like getting someone like the CTEF is going to have to put it on, but they're also busy because they do CTI like at Tice. They'll do some certifications there, so they're kind of you know split. They've got a lot of effort going into getting some guys certified there at the actual event. Um, I don't know that it's a big deal what CFI does to put that competition on, and in conjunction with the Tice folks, it's a huge freaking lift. It's not easy to get all of that put together and manage these regionals, and then have it put together at the show in a way that's both fun to watch, because that's why we all get on the catwalk, is to watch these guys' skills. And I love going up there, by the way. If you don't go to convention, go to Tice and go to the installation competition. I believe we're gonna have more room this year for it as well.
Fantastic.
And on top of that, like watching the guys from the catwalk, it's fun to go people watch because you see all these people just standing there that are retailers and different people that are not actual installers, really appreciating what these dudes are doing down there. And some of the best have not won that competition. So it's
Jim
Details
asked
matter.
who was going to be in Dalton, but it's in Chattanooga, right?
we should
Yeah,
do
I think they're
poker
still
night.
gonna run
Do a
down.
poker night at Scott's.
I think they might still run down to do some stuff in Dalton. Maybe do some sightseeing at some locations of some sort. Maybe some manufacturers and stuff like that. So we'll see what they're gonna put together
Yeah,
this
Top
yeah.
year.
secret. Top secret.
Next year, I mean, I have some ideas for next year, Tice, but I don't know if they're gonna want to pick them up. But they're gonna be. I think they would be a lot more fun and something different. The competition's been around for a while, but I feel there's stuff we can do with teams. There's stuff we can do with other machinery on people who actually go and sell that kind of stuff there. So we'll see what's up
Oh, the
for the
regionals in Dalton.
yeah, the regionals in Dalton. There's always going to be a regional in Dalton now.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. I really appreciate all the comments and horror stories. I know it's difficult to get on and talk about those because you don't want to throw clients under the bus. And,
Uh,
so not trying to do that. We're just, good war stories is all this was. So thanks to everybody for the comments, and want to thank Pro Installer Magazine again. Go pick up an issue. You used to pick them up at the
Distributors.
distributors. I don't know that they're there so often anymore, but you can still grab your digital copy. So scan the QR code, stay in touch with what's going on in
Sign
the
up, man.
industry.
Get
And
that.
Trade Tap. Trade Tap is we are pushing all the pedals right now, growing the network like crazy, and we're hoping you'll join our movement of, you know, cataloging and credentializing installers so that the good guys stand out. And there's so much opportunity when you can prove your worth and your value that takes you out of the price war. And thank you to all of our ambassadors that are coming on board. We really appreciate that. You'll see their posts coming on, Jorge and Daniel, and there's a lot of guys that are joining the network. I was going to have Jose,
Jose.
but then I was like, then we got the brothers, who's gonna, maybe we'll still do it, and you guys can see who can win the social media wars.
The
But
Mario Brothers.
the
I,
Mario
I'll,
brothers.
The
I'll
Gonzalez
have
brothers.
too much technical difficulties.
No way. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much again for joining us today. Thanks to our sponsors. And again, come see us at convention. And we're going to do a Huddle Live from convention again. So that'll be fun. And spread the word about Trade Tap. As Kevin says, spread the word. And with that, we will catch you guys next week. Catch us on YouTube, catch us on freaking
Everything.
Spotify and
Just
all the podcasts. Just go find our content and react to it. Give us some thumbs up, and comment on there. We really appreciate the interaction. So thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Catch me on the down
Thank you,
low.
everyone.